Both Israel and Hamas confirmed that a ceasefire will be extended for another 2 days. This announcement comes just before the original 4-day truce was set to expire. Hamas has also agreed to release an additional 20 hostages over the next 2 days. Israel had previously said they'd be willing to continue the humanitarian pause each day Hamas released at least 10 hostages. Today, 11 more hostages were let go, but that includes no Americans. National Security Council Strategic Communications Coordinator Admiral John Kirby joins us now. Admiral, thanks so much for being with us. What more do we know about the potential release of hostages?
Well, we know that 11 got out today. This was the fourth and final day of the original agreement. That's good news for 11. That's good news for 11 families, of course. And now, thanks to President Biden's leadership and involvement, we've got an extra 2 days now coming up of 2 more days of pauses, 2 more days of humanitarian assistance getting into people who need it, and just as critically, 2 more days of some 20 hostages being released by Hamas and getting back to their families. We'll keep a close eye on this day to day here, the next 2 days, to see who's coming out. We obviously hope to see more Americans in that group.
And do you expect any more Americans to be part of that group?
You know, we're saying we're hoping. It's difficult to say we expect because we don't often see the list until later in the morning on each day, and even then, you got to watch to see who actually comes across the border, make sure that they're all on that list. So we hope that more Americans will come out here in these next 2 installments, but we'll have to wait and see.
And if not, then what?
Well, I mean, we're just going to keep working at this. We heard the president talk about this over the Thanksgiving weekend. We want to see all the hostages, all of them, back with their families where they belong. And that, of course, includes a number of Americans. And we're not going to stop until we get them all home. I can't go into detail right now about what the modalities of that would look like. We're focused right now on, now that we've got the 4 days done, getting the next 2 days executed, and then we'll see where it goes. As I mentioned today in the briefing room here at the White House, we certainly would like to see this 2-day extension get extended for even more days.
And so just to be clear at this point with respect to the current group, are there any Americans part of that group, yes or no?
No. If you're talking about today, no.
Okay, and why not?
Well, again, we don't develop the lists. The lists are developed by Hamas, and of course on the Israeli side, they develop the list of Palestinian prisoners that they're going to release. That's between the parties. We're not involved in that process. I can obviously assure you that in every conversation we're having with our counterparts in the region, including Qatar, who has direct lines with Hamas, that we want to see Americans come out. And we're making that case as stridently as we can, but we are ultimately not in control of who gets on the list each day.
I understand that, but does that give you any additional pause or concern?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, I would say clearly we want to get them home to their families. I don't want to dismiss that concern. We obviously want to see them. But in terms of because we haven't gotten any since Abigail over the weekend, we still believe that it's every possibility that we're going to be able to get the rest of the Americans out. It just may take a little bit longer than we want or that their families want. But we're not going to stop working at it.
I know you have said that the U.S. would like this pause extended further. What type of timetable are you seeking?
We're still in discussions, active, very ongoing discussions with all the parties here about potential extensions of the deal. Over the weekend, the president was able to get this extension over the finish line. We'll keep at it. I couldn't tell you right now as we're talking if there's going to be an extension and what that could look like in terms of length of days or number of hostages. We know that Hamas has more hostages that they either they're holding or that they can get access to. So the pool is much larger than what we've been able to get out so far, obviously. So we want to see this extended for as long as it possibly can take.
President Biden has said that conditioning aid to Israel is a worthwhile thought. I know earlier in the briefing you also said that the administration believes its approach is working. So is this something that's under serious consideration?
The president believes that the approach we're taking right now, thus far, has been working, has achieved results, not only in terms of supporting Israel's right and responsibility to go after Hamas, but also getting aid in, getting people out. That includes, obviously, hostages. So we're going to work with might and main on the approach that we've been taking, which, again, is results-based, and it has achieved outcomes.
I mean, how does the White House respond to someone like Senator Bernie Sanders, who has said that the blank check approach must stop?
I wouldn't say that this is a blank check. We obviously are going to continue to support Israel as they defend themselves. But look, every provision of military assistance to any nation around the world comes with an expectation that it's going to be used appropriately and in accordance with the law of war. And we have been discussing with our Israeli counterparts since the early hours of this conflict about the need to abide by that law of war and to respect innocent life, to reduce and to minimize civilian casualties. And that's not going to stop. That focus of us with our Israeli counterparts will continue.
I also want to get to this incident that occurred off the coast of Yemen. U.S. military officials say 2 ballistic missiles were fired from Houthi-controlled parts of the country towards a U.S. warship. How is the U.S. responding?
First of all, it's not entirely clear that it was 2 ballistic missiles, and it's obviously not clear to us anyway that the USS Mason was the target. The ballistic missiles or missile that landed in the ocean some 10 miles away, and it's probably just as likely that they were trying to target the Central Park, the merchant vessel that the USS Mason came to assist and to try to apprehend those pirates. So it's not exactly clear that it was an attack on the U.S. Navy or a warship. That said, what the Houthis have been doing in recent weeks is troublesome. It's a deep concern. Our message to them and to any other actor in the region through the additional force posture that we've added. In fact, the Mason is part of the Eisenhower strike group that the president ordered into the region. That message is don't escalate, don't widen, don't deepen this conflict. We have a serious national security interest in the region, and we have the tools and capabilities to defend them.
All right, Admiral John Kirby, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.